LIVERAW TV, and you are
Shane Adams, aka Inshanephotos.
Alright, and I'm Rashawn, and yeah, it's the first fucking pod, so
Hey,
we're doing this shit. So what do you want to talk about first? I know you from photography, but I know you also skate, and you're hella into that culture as well.
Yeah. So I started skating around like 11, 12.
Yeah.
I always had friends that was doing it before, so I always was like around skateboarding, like ever since like 5th grade. But I had friends that were doing it, so I just was around the culture, and then I really just started taking serious, like really around like high school, like into middle school, and then just like from there, just been still into it. It's pretty crazy.
All right, and so some of your friends from that era are here now. Okay. Is that right?
Yeah, which is cool. Like, it's crazy to think like we started at the same time and the same place, and now we're like migrating to the same place.
Yeah.
To be like skating and like doing other stuff, and it's cool. It's tight.
That's the shit that rocks.
Yeah.
And where did you come from to get to here? Where's that?
So I was born in Sioux City, Iowa, which is very, very boring. But
Juanitas.
Right. Yeah, no.
That's fire.
Was living in Nebraska before I moved out to California and stuff. So yeah, so I was living in Lincoln, which was cool.
Yeah, and then homies from Lincoln.
Yeah.
Out in Cali now.
Yeah, I have a couple homies that do like videography and photography and just like other stuff as well too, like artists. They're just artists in general from Lincoln and then Omaha as well too. So
all right. And I'm assuming that the skating like kind of spilled into you doing photography.
Yeah, honestly, I was on a trip out here actually in 2015 with like a couple homies that live out here now.
Mm.
I had a super bad rolled ankle and I couldn't really do shit on the trip, so I just was like, one of the other homies brought a camera and I was like, alright, I guess I'll try and snap a few photos, and then I ended up just getting a camera like a month or so after that trip.
And just started filming that.
Yeah.
Did you have, alright, so like, you know, people want to grow up and they want to do the football thing, like in the NFL,
right?
Or like the junior, you know what I'm saying, like in high school. Did you want to go pro at skating? Were you thinking like, Rob Deer Deck route, I'll have my own shoe one day, I just did my first kickflip, like was it like that?
Yeah, actually, like me for a second, for sure. Like I think everybody thinks about that, like in, like alright, cool, what if I went pro? Like I'd be tight to have my own shoe or board or whatever, but really, I think like when I was like 19, I just kind of got out of that super quick because I realized that like it's way too hard to make a living like skateboarding unless you're like one of the top dudes and you have already been pro for like a few years. Yeah. So I just was like, I'm just gonna keep doing it for fun, and you know, I still had sponsors and stuff, which was cool, but it wasn't like I was thinking of pro anymore at that point.
And that's fine. Like, alright, so like one thing I think about a lot is that like people have that big idea for themselves, the end goal for, you know, whatever they're doing right now. This is gonna lead me there. And like, I don't know, what do you think made you capable of saying, I'm not going to be like a pro skater, but I'm gonna do this photography? Because I think a lot of people get their identity totally tied up in what they want to see themselves doing and don't know how to like pick up something new and take a new beneficial route when it appears.
Right.
How do you think you got through that?
I think it was just honestly the people I was around, really. Like, I really never had like pressure for skating stuff anyway, but like I just always like it was always easy for me to go like skate because it was an outlet. And then when photography kind of came around, which was a little bit like much later, it just got easier to get into skating because I got the same enjoyment out of that getting a photo as I did getting a new trick. So
yeah, so it's a smooth transition.
Yeah, it was cool. It was chill.
Right. So you got homies in Nebraska, came to California, and like, how was that time period for you in that new environment? You know, getting adjusted to this, was it just the same as, you know, going from possibly pro skating to filming, or was that smooth of a transition environment-wise?
Yeah, like I was fucking lucky to have like the friends that I had out here already that were here. Like not even just in the skate, but just in like the photo like industry wise. Like it was just nice to have like people that were already here, and then meeting up with them, and then meeting their friends and stuff like that. Trying to get into like a good culture community out here, because like I think that's like the hardest thing is when you move here.
Yeah,
like, the people, like finding a little group is hard.
And that can be intimidating.
Yeah,
for so many people.
Facts, because there's so many people out here. So I got in pretty lucky and I transitioned pretty easy, but you know, it's still like a thing that you got to.
And you're still going through that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've only been out here for almost a year, so yeah, it's just like with anything else, you're still just, you know,
learning curves and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people want to do something new, want to go to a new environment. I feel like a lot of people want to come to California in general. And I think one of the first things that stops them in their tracks is strangers are there.
Right.
You know? Like,
right. Yeah, it's like you either got the strangers.
Yeah.
You got people who think about rent too much.
That too.
Or you've got the people that think about, oh my God, all these people from all over the world come to this one place just to be here to try and make it doing what they're doing. And especially for me, like with photography, like everybody wants to be a photographer or wants to do photography, and like just because they feel like they can, they're gonna come here or they already are here. So it's like one of those things. Do photography, love it, but you can make it out of like anything, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to like just shoot people all the time. You can do it however you want to, and that's what I found out here is like a lot of cool people don't just shoot people.
Right. So, it's just about having, I think, interest. Right.
And just being more open. I think that's another thing that's like really good about out here is how open a lot of people are when it comes to shooting different things
and trying new things out.
And trying new things. So
yeah, that's like a big reason I did want to like link up with you in general, just because I knew that you weren't really from LA starting off, and I think that's just fascinating with a lot of people in general. It's one thing I believe to like want to take the path less traveled, go against the grain and do something that's not super common, but then to also go into a totally different environment where you're not even from, restart that in the midst of
it
can be a mindfuck.
Which like most people I feel like probably wouldn't do, just because they'd rather like be a little bit more established in where their city is or whatever.
Right.
Me myself personally, I always knew that I wanted to move to California, so just happening to start in photography like a few years before I actually moved, it was a little bit harder to transition, but it wasn't because of the fact that I already knew I was going to move to California. So whether I was going to shoot photos or not, I was going to be here. It just added on the bonus of being able to do that.
That's a good perspective to have, you know, and just coming here and trying to do something. It's just like, it's going to happen regardless, and just looking at things as bonuses along the way instead of just having, I don't know, just looking at obstacles on the way to do something. You found like shit you just like doing on the way.
Absolutely, yeah. It's kind of nice, especially with, you know, just how every day is. Like, it's nice to be able to like have shit that you like to do, so that you can just go out and do it. And then people that I've met, like especially like how with you guys, like out here, it's just everybody has their own thing, and like they want to link up with other people
ASAP and get that shit done.
Facts.
Yeah, and in the Midwest, bro, like, I don't know, I feel like if I was trying to get somebody to come do a podcast in the Midwest, first and foremost, they'd ask me, like, why? Why are you doing a podcast to begin with?
Yeah, it's like, it's a little bit more reserved back there, which is cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but in terms of what I want to do with like my life and career and everything else, like, it's not for me to be there. Like, I'd rather go about my life with like shooting whatever I want to shoot without feeling like I needed to be judged by that.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like back there, it's hard because as much as people want to be creative and outspoken and do all that kind of stuff, there still is that block there because it's so conservative back then.
Yeah.
So
it's just, you have that difficulty of trying to even get people to find what you're doing cool, and then you also have that, it's just that vacuum of people even doing it in general to rub off against.
Right. And I mean, there's no disrespect to anybody back home. Like, you know, I love wedding photography and all that other stuff, but still it's good for the money, but honestly, it's like for me every day, it's like I would literally lose my mind.
Yeah, but and that's what's crazy for like I think some people to hear is that like you would lose your mind, I guess maybe doing something that might be perceived as easier.
Like, well, because like wedding photography isn't easy, but it is like if you get into it, like
once
you
you're
can
there,
make way more money, and it's way like you can kind of schedule things out a little bit easier because you're planning so far in advance.
Yeah, I think it's more sustainable, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I got friends that make like well over $200K doing weddings. You know what I mean? It's like so. It's like it's nice to be able to say that you can do that, but for me personally, it's like I'd rather go create something that I want to see myself doing instead of just like going through the motions of shooting like a wedding every weekend or something like that. So
yeah, all right, and then so like back to skateboarding because like when you came here we were watching an interview. I'm not gonna name drop you just so. But like we were watching an interview. There's some skaters there and they're talking about like culture and like the SBs and the shoes. Did you ever like find yourself getting into that type of scene, like the fashion tied in?
Like yes and no. I think when SBs first kind of came back out, I was super hyped on them because like I had a couple of buddies that were starting to ride for Nike and stuff.
Yeah.
So like looking at all the different kind of dunks that were coming out at that point, like the 2004 era, like 2007, like for the SBs was just like game over. Like you couldn't find better shoes than that. But nowadays, I feel like I don't know.
You got Adidas
got their number now, and it's just like I'm sorry.
And they're working with so many creatives.
Was good. Like come on.
They're working with so many creatives and doing so much for like just small people.
But I love how honestly like skateboarding in a way has kind of pioneered a lot of what the fashion industry kind of perceives as cool. Really, like I always think about that. Like even like when Lil Wayne like kind of like came out back, reintroduced himself as like the skating type, and so many kids want to wear like skinny jeans or like Supras or anything like that. I always think about like, man, skateboarding did that because nobody would have known about that. Like even nowadays with Thrasher, like you see Kylie Jenner wearing a Thrasher hoodie, and every 13 to 16-year-old girl wants to go get a Thrasher hoodie. So
and it's just out there now.
It's
like I don't know, skating is definitely like Coca-Cola or something.
Right. It's like I mean, dude, there's this chick Aori. She's from Japan. She's sponsored by Coca-Cola in Japan. I just think that's the wildest thing. Like it's just crazy to think like, you know, even sponsorship wise, like how high you can go with like skateboarding. Like, you know, you got people sponsored by Mountain Dew and car companies and stuff like that, and it's pretty wild, but it's cool. I like it. More power. And
all right, so back to the SBs too.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself copying them when they come out, or is it like that was a moment? Don't try to bring it back. How do you feel?
No, I think like even nowadays, I think it's still cool because you've got like Diamond Supply that has like the Tiffany dunks. Like when those were kind of like a thing, and then they did the re-release of those.
Yeah.
And
they still win.
Yeah, the Canary ones are my favorite. So like those ones are the sickest SBs that I've seen, honestly, in a super long time. But because I mean nowadays I'm just more chill. Like it's like I'm an Adidas person, so it's like I be trying to cop like the Bushnets and stuff like that, and like they have different colors of those, or the City Cups and stuff. So like
City Cups.
Yeah, the City Cups are lit.
I see. All right, so I don't know if you want me to bring this up, but when we talked about like Lil Wayne and how like Lil Wayne started to merge with skating culture, and he's a rapper, and it's kind of like I'm kind of the byproduct of that era. You know what I'm saying? Like I rap, sell vintage tees, I skated. I'm like the melting pot of those things in that moment.
Right.
All right, so this brings me to like someone like Terry K. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
DK's the dude, man. He's cool, like
And the Thrasher talk too. I remember like he was like what, like best black skater of the year or something on Thrasher.
Like he's I think his rise was super cool. Like he definitely influenced a whole wave of kids that, especially out here, that were probably not thinking about skating as like kind of in that gang culture. like it's cool that like he influenced a lot of kids to try and get out of that and goes the skate route. But
that era was tight.
That era was insane. Like with Stevie Williams, like I think people like really do give it up to people like Stevie Williams just because he pioneered a whole like a whole culture of people like DGK and stuff. And
I remember people used to clown me and be like, "Yo, black people don't skate."
Exactly.
And I had like my binder with like a Stevie Williams photo of him wearing DGK, and I'm like, "What's this?"
Yeah. Honestly,
what's that?
That was one of my main reasons. Like Gayle Mumbloo and stuff. People like that, like that were always about pro skating and they were black, and me getting picked on as a black dude skating, like I just looked up to those dudes and I'm just like, man, if these dudes can make it, like they can't be getting called white forever, you know what I mean? Like I don't really care how you explain it.
And that eventually shook too. And now they're just people being people. Inspired.
Look at how they are now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Terry K too, man. Like he used to wild out, and now I feel like
he's more chill.
Does, like yoga or something.
Yeah, you know? he's more a little out there nowadays. He's cool. He's chill. He's still skating, which is good. Like I just like to see his skate clips, and then like, but yeah, I like his style a lot. I ran into him a little bit earlier this year, and at Dew Tour and stuff. Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, that was really cool. Like to talk to him for a second and stuff.
And in a weird way too, I kind of feel like skating is still kind of bringing new things to the culture, as far as like people like TK go, going from like getting shot to
exactly
to
like,
who he is now. And
that's
then you got people like Neen Williams, when they're healthy to
Neen is another amazing dude. He's from Chicago, and like being from the Midwest, like I don't care who makes it in skateboarding out of the Midwest. You fucking support the hell out of that because we know how hard it is to make it out of there. So, exactly. Like we can only skate like really good like 6 to 7 months maybe out of the year, even if that. Like
so if they're good from the Midwest, like just picture they were in LA and they could skate every day.
It's like you can skate
really
12 months. Like you can skate all year out here. And, you know, if you got an indoor park back home, that's like it helps. But for kids like that, for dudes like that to make it out of the Midwest and still have a career, and he's on his health tip, and it's super sick to see. Like he has some really good like recipes for people on his YouTube if you ever check it out.
No, that's what I see. So that's what's tricky. That's what like buzzed my mind when I do see Neen do that, and it's like this is still we got like Beyond Meat and all these people trying to eat healthy nowadays, and like I kind of saw this in that area first, and I feel like it's starting to spread. And I just feel like that area is just still breaking new things for us, like making shit that probably wasn't super cool.
Oh yeah, dude, could you imagine like a skateboarder back in like 95 or early 2000, like, oh yeah, drink this protein shake. It's cool.
It's not.
Hell no, you look like a fucking cornball. Like, but now it's like nowadays when you look at like how skateboarders eat and how they take care of their bodies and stuff like that, it's insane. They are actual athletes now, and it's cool to see because that really does help like the younger kids think about health for the future for them too. So I respect it a lot. I love watching like my favorite skaters going out there eating good and still being able to perform like they were at 21 when they're like 34, 35 now.
And you're up on Lil Nar, right?
No,
he's kind of like the antithesis to a little
crazy, man. He's wild. I dig his music. I dig his narcotic and everything he does, and that dude's a personality for sure.
Because I was thinking, like, honestly, I was wondering.
And he's decently good at skating. So I like to see rappers that are good at skating, like
Nar.
Like Nar's good.
Reese.
Reese is good too. What's his name? Fucking Hobson. Hobson's good too. I skated with him a few times.
That's crazy. Me and this guy opened up for him before. Like,
really? Hell yeah. He's good. He always plays like little games of skate with his fans and stuff like that outside of shows or whatever. And he's a good dude for sure. So I word up to him. But there's a lot of a lot of rappers out there, and even like basketball players, like pro basketball players that skate, and it's cool to see. Like,
and it's not half-assed skating.
Yeah, it's like
skating.
Like, all right, shoot, I can see you actually were about that at one point. So I just see that this is more important. Like, you got to play basketball and make like 100 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you still found time to do that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's tight that, you know, skating has done all that. It's still like, it seems like it's getting saturated. Every time I feel like it's getting mainstream, we talk Lil Nar, we got the Neen, we got these people that are still like, it's still fresh.
Right,
Fresh shit is still happening in the midst of all this growth.
Right, yeah, with like, I think, you know, social media boom and stuff like that, like that kind of really, really like plays into that, because every kid nowadays wants to post an Instagram clip with them wearing like Chanel or Fendi shoes or like some expensive ass like off-white dunks or something like that, and I'm just like, I mean, that's sick if you want to go out and skate in like a $800 to $2,000 pair of shoes.
It's the realest flex,
and
though.
Just it's like you're flexing just to post that on Instagram. I mean, more power to you, but you know, you could have invested that hopefully in something else or whatever. I don't know what you could have done. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your money, but like
it's just in so
just
many
to skate in
directions.
some shoes for some Instagram clout. I don't know. That's
yeah, I don't know.
I'm alright with it.
I don't know where that's going, because it's like you're gonna have to be totally Louis V down at one point.
Yeah,
you know
at some point that's like what kids think are gonna be the standard, and that's why like so many other companies are starting to go out now, because it's like you know, it's already hard enough to compete with like Nike, Adidas, New Balance as it is, like as a skate company. But then you go and add things like that, you know, the Instagram booms and stuff like that, and it's kind of making it a little bit harder for those companies as well too.
Especially to have sponsorships. A lot of people are like,
it's like, what are you gonna like realistically try and find in a kid that wants to wear like fucking Gucci shoes like every day? You know what I mean? Like, is that what you want to represent your company as far as a shoe company? Like, if I'm like, you know, one of these companies like Etnies or America or anything like that, I can't really see myself doing it. But different strokes for different folks. I don't know.
Exactly. Right. So then, all right, back to photos now. I know that's like hell of a turn, but kind of not really.
Nah, that's
so you're still obviously filming, and not filming, just like taking photos of this, like the skating world. Still, you're still in it. How do you think the filming has changed a little bit in art? Because I've seen people do editing on like these skate clips that look like music videos down there. They're doing masking, and they're going super hard with that. Do you see yourself dropping like videos like that?
I mean,
flipped up, or
I think honestly, like if like I was to get really into filming video, like as far as for skate stuff, it really has to be on that level. Like you can't, like, I guess you can, cause still there's some people that still film with like VHSs and everything else. Like, oh not God, we gotta cut that. There's not like people that film with VHS. Oh my God.
Bro, there's gonna be some lo-fi genre of skating out there, because like this lo-fi rap right now.
I mean, there's definitely a few ways to go about filming with skating, because there's obviously the old school way. You got your VX 2000, like 1000 stuff like that. You've got just your iPhone stuff. You've got other little things on your iPhone that you can make like little filming ways, or you could just go with full out and get like a DSLR, or you can get like a Red camera or a GH5 or whatever, like anything like that you can use, but
you don't really see yourself going like too deep with just the crazy editing.
No, I just think like it would be fun to really come up with a project though, to really get the people that I believe could film it the right way to do that. So just like directing it would be a lot more fun for me than going out and actually like sitting there like filming it or whatever. Like, but I would love to go out and just like get a couple photos of like even just everybody from the session, not even necessarily anything of the session. It just could be, oh cool, these are just lifestyle photos from like the whole entire production of it. Like I think that'd be
just capture the energy there.
Yeah.
So I don't really know too much about this nowadays, so I'm just gonna ask you in case you're up to date with it. But like, I remember moments like Baker 3 dropping, fully flared, shit like that. Are there still moments like that happening? Where we're anticipating.
Baker 4 is about to drop.
Seriously?
Yeah, about to drop. I think November is what I was told. Don't hold me to that because you know skate videos don't be coming out on time. Yeah. But Baker 4 is going to drop, and honestly, it's one of the more anticipated ones because of the fact that it's been so long since the last one. But yeah, like there's still moments like that where people still get hyped on like skate releases, and I honestly love that kind of stuff too because it really is good for the culture. Like,
that was a crazy
doing premieres, doing premieres, you still gotta do them. You still gotta hype them up because watching those videos are still everything, even though we're in such a internet age, you know?
Yeah.
It's still nostalgically cool to go to a theater with like 100 or so different skaters and you have a video premiere, you know? It's cool. It's cool to go to that.
That's not gone then.
Yeah, no, it's not gone. Like, dude, if there's ever one that I can get like, can get like a few people into, I'll definitely invite you to come down for sure because it's definitely one of the fun things about skating to go to for sure.
All right, and that's just nuts. Baker 4 is not the fucking drop. Yeah.
Take a boat.
Yeah, dude, and that's just like that's perfect. That is from that era. It's like that is coming. That's still here. It's still running shit. All right, so where do you see yourself just with your own life taking these photos like 2020?
2020.
It's like right around the corner.
Yeah, it is right around the corner, but it's good though. 2020, I really am gonna actually start marketing myself. Like I know that sounds like a funny thing to say because you should have been doing it all this whole time.
Right.
But honestly, like
it's a lot moving here and shit.
It's like honestly for me, I've never marketed myself, and I've always found like it kind of hard to be like, okay, how do I market myself, which doesn't sound like I have an ego or anything like that or whatever, but like there's ways around that.
Yeah.
And being able to do it the right way to get the jobs that you want to get is what my goal is for next year is to be able to say, all right, I marketed my ass off to get that gig, and so everything from this is going to be what the next stepping stone is going to be. So for me, it's really just going to be actually marketing myself to get in the positions that I normally get in now without having the word of mouth aspect of it.
And you want to get in these positions more frequently then?
Yeah.
It seems like you're in that space already a little bit.
Exactly, and that's the thing is I happen to just know a lot of people, and so that does help with like access on a lot of things.
Right.
But I want to also be able to say I consistently am able to get into those loops without saying, all right, cool, you just jumped into that, or you just jumped into that, or a homie alley-ooped you this, or whatever.
Right.
Or some random person finding you and telling you to come do this, or whatever. You know, I just want to be able to say, like, all right, I'm marketed to get all these gigs. And so...
And that's a big step.
Yeah, it is. And I think, hopefully, people understand that it's not easy.
No.
Especially for, like, people that are creatives, just because, you know, we have to rely on so many other people judging our work or whatever, and when you get into those commercial gigs, you have to rely on people that judge how you shoot, just even raw, you know. It's, you may have like a few people standing over your shoulder while you're trying to shoot a client, and they're right there looking at your computer or anything like that, whether they like it or not. Hopefully they like it, because if not, then hopefully they don't cut you mid-set. You know, it's
that part.
It's the scariness of it, but it's also the rush that kind of makes you want to really do it more. So, yeah.
All right, and like how you said, you kind of want people to know that like it's not easy. This is hard.
Yeah.
Do you feel like? Because I kind of feel like I'm in that space, and I feel like a lot of people might feel like they're in that space where I'm personally selling vintage tees and dropping tracks, and it's like I'm doing a pod right now. Like my lifestyle, like for the most part, is kind of like entertainment in a way.
Right.
I'm doing these things, but it's still like it's not on the frequency where it's like it's every part of my day, and I'm like totally like tucked off somewhere with the pros.
Right.
I'm still doing this like damn near on that level almost, like, but it's not that frequent. And what I was gonna ask is, when you like do what you need to do to go to that next level, because this is important for perspective for people watching this who aren't fucking fathoming what you're doing yet.
Right.
Is it more difficult, more of a climb in your eyes to do this next level of marketing, getting taken seriously, or is it more difficult to even start? Like, to begin?
I think it'll be more difficult to start. Because like once you start getting into doing something and it's for what you love doing, that becomes easier as you go on. Because it's not about, as much as it's about pleasing other people,
right,
the number one thing is you still gotta please yourself. And so with whatever you're happy with, that's what's gonna determine how you're gonna do it. So I think for me it'll be just the starting part.
Alright, cool. And that was a long question and you got it. So that's cool, you captured it. Answer that perfectly. So you would say that just starting off is going to be the hardest part, and it gets easier from there. It's not going to keep getting harder and harder.
I mean,
it's hard to keep it up, though.
Right,
sure.
right. It's hard
day.
to it's hard to do the everyday step of it, but my thing is, as long as you get half a step more forward, really, then you're already more winning than what you started with, because you can't go backwards, really. Like, I mean, you can, but it's not necessarily for you to think about going backwards in a sense if you're trying to move forward. If you get that half step, then tomorrow you'll get a full step. And then, you keep half stepping to where you get those full steps, man. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Like, it could take you 10 years. Like, I'm not saying that, like, me being here, I'm just gonna blow up from photography or whatever in a year or two. Like, that was never the plan. Yeah, you gotta still have that attitude of like being positive about saying like, yo, it's just that one gig, that one gig that's just gonna help like take me from where I am to where I'll be consistently like doing what I want to do. So you just gotta have that positive mindset, but you just gotta know that you gotta do the fucking work to get there too. So it's not always easy unless you just happen to be somebody that knows everybody or knows a lot of people in that industry or something like that. So
so just be conditioning yourself.
You just gotta condition yourself to know that it's gonna be a little journey. So
You just gotta appreciate that along the way.
Facts.
So I think that's really important, just to make sure that people like. Dude, like my whole goal with this is kind of just to get people to take a step. You know what I'm saying? To go forward, you just gotta take that first step. And I know a lot of people who just contemplate going outside of the box, whatever they perceive their box being, and they just contemplate it. They never.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I mean, shit. Like, just taking an instance, just moving out here. It's hard because you think about all the things that can go wrong before you get here or when you get here. But it's like, once you get here, man, you can make it whatever you want to. You literally have 24 hours in a day, and out here 24 hours in a day is a long day. But you can make whatever you want to have happen out here. So.
And did that ideology of just, I guess, you valuing your time, did that really kick in prior to being here, or did being here like really
definitely being here definitely kicked that. Like, I mean, because where I'm from, it's slow, it's slow, people are chilling and everybody's going about their business. But not to say that LA is faster, it is faster, but a lot of people here still move slow. So you gotta train yourself to like slow down a little bit, because you thinking of how fast it is here and it's not really that fast is what makes you like go. It's like I think that's what contributes to a lot of people's anxieties when they move out here, is they feel like it's such a fast-paced city, which it is. It's just you just gotta.
I think there's more so there's a lot you can do.
You gotta just take your time with stuff instead of just rushing to feel like you gotta impress whoever it is. You know, you just gotta take your time with it, and I think that's like one thing I've learned out here is just do you and
breathe and do the thing.
Yeah, just do what you came here to do, and everything else will fall into place. Really.
Yeah, definitely don't get lost.
Don't get lost in the sauce. Man. I swear, I've seen it.
There's a lot of sauce out there.
There is. There's a lot of different kind of sauce out there, and I've seen some people get FOMO all the way up in it, and you just gotta like know that what you want to do has to be bigger than whatever it is, like the parties and the going out and all that. Like it's got to be more important than that. Not saying that you can't go out or whatever, enjoy it, network though.
Yeah,
that's the thing is like if you're going out, like network, because at least you could be doing. Yeah, it's like in LA, like there's always somebody trying to make $1 out here. So like if you network your way into something, and you never know, like that could be what gets you to what you really want to do.
Right.
And I feel like that's another thing that's been really, really good out here is networking is a lot easier out here because everybody wants to do something or everybody feels like they have something to do. So
yeah, way easier.
Yeah.
Just the idea of networking in other places, it's not going to be valued just because like people might be in towns where they feel like they know everybody already.
Right. Exactly. Like
maybe you should get to know those people more.
Right.
You know, or just go meet new people.
Yeah, you always gotta meet new people, but you always gotta realize that like not everybody is deserving of your time either, or not like really deserving of that extra conversation after you meet them. So you just gotta be aware of the time burglars out there, because there's plenty of them.
Time burglars.
Time burglars, bro. I swear.
Where'd your eyes start opening up to that type of shit? Where it's like, hold up, like I shouldn't be here right now. Maybe. Can I do this again? You know what I'm saying? Like, was that an out here thing too? Is that
I mean, yes and no. Like, not say there aren't time burglars back home, but when you're really thinking about trying to do freelance here, and you are thinking about, hey, I need to lock in this job because this is what's gonna help pay my rent and stuff like that. You really have to be, hey man, if we're not really talking about anything within a few emails or a 20-minute conversation,
what is this, bro?
What is the point? Yeah, it's like I don't mind linking up with you or whatever, yada yada yada, but like that's gotta be like,
and you're not cold
time.
Either, you know?
I'm
it's
like,
not like
I'm way too nice for that kind of shit. I think that's like why people be trying to be like, yo, let's talk to Shay. Like he's nice.
Yeah.
He'll try and come up with like, nah, man. Like I was really about that when I first got here, but it's definitely changed a lot now. It's like, nah, man, y'all got it. Like I'm good. Like,
yeah, you guys.
Like unless like we're really talking about doing something, it's kind of hard for me to really want to think about it, because it's like, you know, you gotta sit in traffic. Then you gotta like, once you get there, you gotta like make sure that everybody is there on time or whatever. And then if they're not there on time, you've already wasted it.
So everything has to be an investment.
Yeah, everything is an investment, just especially if you don't live like right in LA or Hollywood or whatever. Like it's an investment, because I live down in Torrance, so I'm already 20 miles from downtown LA, so that's almost an hour.
It's gotta be super awesome.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's not even that. It's just you just have to really just come and talk about a conversation that really gets both of us to where we're both going to be happy. Right. So it's not hard to get to that. It's just don't waste the time in between that. You know, just come up and straight up ask me what you want, what's your budget, how many photos you want, yada yada yada, or whatever. Or I'll select how many photos we need, because, you know, whatever. But just don't waste the time, because people got other stuff to do. It's like rent way too expensive, like it's way too damn hot. Y'all wasting time. Like the sunset looks good and all, but you know, I'm not trying to waste my time to, you know what I mean? Like
that part.
So
alright, and another thing too, talking about the sunset, bro. It's just like so I anticipated coming to Cali. It's sunny every day. And then I get here and I'm like, fuck, bro, it's sunny every day.
Yeah.
What happened like last Thursday? I can't really tell you. In my mind, it all looks sort of similar.
Right.
Do you ever find yourself having like difficulty just keeping track?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And like I always lose what day of the week it is, just because of the fact I think just, you know, with what we do, we're just up all hours of the day, and we kind of just run doing that. And so I feel like most days just run together, and you're like, oh shit, it's Thursday. Wait, no, actually it's Saturday or something.
And that's fun though too. You're not
complaining
when you say that.
No, I'm not complaining when I say
right?
It's a great feeling, because that means you might be doing something right. You know, there's nothing wrong with skipping out on days, as long as you did something that was worth it. like all the days we can run together. I don't give a fuck. Like,
right.
Shit, like if I got one thing done, accomplished that day, and I can do that later on and say I can come back to it. Like it's cool. Like most days do run together. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice out here because you don't really complain about it. If it was snowing and shit, like you might complain about the days running together.
Back in like SD, South Dakota, I guess it's supposed to like snow tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw like Colorado got some snow. I saw some of my homies' Instagrams today, and I'm just like,
I forgot what that is. Honestly, like,
like when I just got back from being in Nebraska.
Was it cold there already?
There was a couple days where it was raining.
Yeah, dude. I look
Bro, I love
like, is this
rain.
real?
Honestly, I haven't seen rain since May or some shit like that when I was in Atlanta, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? Like, this feels good out here, but it was hot. It was humid. It was like 90 degrees. I got off the plane. 4 hours later, I had like heat bumps. Like pimples and shit all over my forehead. I was like, man, nah, I can't be back here.
Like you don't know
fucking up my skin
weather anymore, dude.
It's fucking up my skin. Yeah, I'm not in that kind of weather anymore.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just know the LA shit at this point, and I know I sound like a bitch when I go elsewhere.
Facts.
Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
It's like, God, why do I want to stand in shitty weather again? Like, nah, it's cool, but yeah, it was definitely hot but it was nice though. The weather was cool. Like the rain was needed. I definitely enjoyed that, but I'm good on the snow right now.
Like, bro, I haven't seen snow yet in a long fucking time.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep it that way, but I just know I forgot where I was. It may have been Colorado on the way driving to South Dakota because I drove to South Dakota and I grabbed a bunch of vintage T-shirts along the way, went thrifting, and like fucking loot, bro. Just gold all the way through.
I bet like some of them gas stations got the
those trucker tees.
Yeah, those trucker tees with the little wolves on them. Man, those are sick. They're not thrifted, but like those are so sick.
Damn,
like exactly. Like you can find those in a thrift store easily.
But in the thrift store, like in the Midwest, it's so fucking fire because it's still not super caught on yet. People go in there for white Oxfords for their interview tomorrow. They're not really looking for fucking Star Trek.
Right.
1991.
Right. So that I think that does help because I got a couple little homies from where I'm from that do their vintage thing now, and it's so cool because I've just seen them since they were just like youngins, like little youngins, and now they're like juniors and seniors in high school, and they're just like doing their thing, and it's cool because they skate and stuff, so they've been a part of the culture there in Lincoln for a long time, and now they're doing their vintage tea.
Are they asking you about California?
Yeah, I just ran into them when I was there, and they were actually doing a pop up at the skate park. Oh, fire! The indoor skate park that was there that day, and I was just like, man, it's so sick to see how far you guys have come. I think it's like their fifth or sixth one or something like that. They've been doing a lot of them, and it's been catching on with those kids. So it's super cool to see the little homies doing their thing. Like I dig it.
And that's what's fire for me too, going from the Midwest to here, is because like the whole entire time I thought I was in the Midwest, I thought like, yo, I make music, I dress cool, whatever the fuck I'm into right now, that might be the allure for these people. My numbers on social media going up. Right. Whatever I'm doing right now has to do with that. But then I noticed when I left and came to California, I also noticed I was getting love and attention, and people were inquiring just about simply moving. And that was another thing, I guess, that was drawing people in, is just moving. So that's like, it's just something I think I'm going to continue talking about for a while, is because I think, in one way or another, I think a lot of people feel trapped where they're at or with what they're doing. Right. So I think, like, when you just move and you fucking come to California, or you go from Kansas City to Toronto, just change that location, and then if you happen to be doing something against the grain on top of that, there's not really books for it on that. There's a lot of self-help books, but there's what book do you read to go to a new city tomorrow?
The book that you write about.
Yeah,
really, honestly,
for real.
I feel like being here, I prepare myself as much as mentally as possible, but like getting here, I've been to California for the last 10 years, you know what I mean? I've been coming here for the last 10 years, and it still is the difference between actually that and moving here. Like I'll be here for a week sometimes, but still nothing like moving here. So you just gotta prepare yourself for that kind of stuff, and they're the only experiences that really will matter are those that you really take for take the positions that you really want to do. So like, let's say like for me, like with photography, like when I got out here, I had a job with a guy that I was working with, which was super cool. Like the opportunity was cool.
Right.
I learned some things, you know, about the business side, but also like I learned a lot of things on what not to do,
right,
and how not to treat people that, you know, stuff like that. It wasn't like the greatest ending, but do I want that person to succeed? Absolutely,
right.
But I just can't be a part of it because of like, you know,
I have to do it.
Yeah, so you take your learning experiences and you kind of apply them to what you want to do in the future or what you don't want to do in the future. And I think that was the biggest learning curve I had about working like with that person, was
right.
what not to do whenever I get that position of being able to, you know, pass some information along or pass a gig along or something.
And you didn't burn that bridge with the guy?
I mean, I'm lying. I didn't burn it. Shit. Like, yeah. Hey man, I did what I felt I best needed to do, and I emailed that person and made it as respectable as possible, and they didn't think it was worth it for them to respond, so.
And you just left it at that though?
Yeah, I mean, shit, I left it at that. That was literally me. Cause like for me to like quit something or me to like really kind of give up on something, it really means that I went to the furthest length of what I could really try and do before that decision was made, because I don't like to quit shit.
Yeah, so then you didn't even quit. You just used it all up for what it had.
It was all like, yeah, it just ended up being a situation that ended up not working out well, but you know, it's cool. It's cool, like.
But that's just you, like, I guess on some corny shit, like going to the school of hard knocks, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was like, when we're talking about time burglars, that was the biggest lesson I learned about time burgling was through him.
Yeah.
So it just ended up being one of those lessons, but it teaches you, you know, like I said, it teaches you, but.
And I may have experienced something similar to that, in where like, did the time burglary happen because like, did it catch you off guard because this is someone supposed to be helping you out?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
so
I think
you didn't think that could possibly happen.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, like, hell yeah, I'm in this thing, I'm doing it with this person or whatever. And then you do realize that at the end of it, it's like,
you're getting robbed.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to go back, I think for me personally, it was because of me. Because of the fact that, like, again, I don't like to quit things. So, like, for me, I really just will extend certain things because I do want to learn, or I do want to like really gain that knowledge or that aspect about something, and then, you know, to apply it to whatever you want to do in the future. But you know,
you just gotta have that frame of mind.
Yeah, you just gotta have that frame of mind and know that like, not just because it looks good doesn't mean it is good. Like, and you know, my mom told me before I got out here, she's like, you don't need to do that. And she's like, you don't need to go out there and do that. You just you should apply it to whatever you want to do and keep doing what you've been doing for the last few years. And so I didn't listen to that, and that's, you know, I mean, mom always knows best.
They do.
It's so crazy, like, but it's good though because, you know, it's been a good ride after that. Like honestly, I honestly, that was my best decision, was to leave, because I found myself being able to get back to who I was and being able to like do the kind of photography I wanted to do and like get into the ins and outs of the, you know what I mean? Like,
I think you did two things that a lot of people don't do, and I think a lot of people get caught up in right there. Is like, so you were getting, let's say, don't want to say help, but like someone was like, just
it was like a mentor. It was a mentor thing. I mean,
and I think in LA
with some attachments, but you know, it's all good.
Yeah, and I think in LA, like, in just like maybe even bigger cities, is that I think a lot of people, you know, like along their way, they might meet someone bigger than them, and then get led astray, and totally thinking that like, my best interest might be kept in mind, or they're bigger than me, so what would be the point of even
them? You don't think like that.
Yeah,
you just think like, oh shit, like my favorite person is he reached out to me and like I have this opportunity. Hell yeah, you want to take it. And I don't care who you are. But you do have to really sit down and think about what you're getting yourself into before you really do it. And I was already on the I'm moving out here anyway. This is just gonna help me even further to be with somebody that knows. You know what I mean? It's another African American person. You know what I mean? You already know how hard it is to make it out here. So that was the biggest appeal to me. Even though, like, you know, again, like, when I get to that position, like to really say that I can help somebody like that, I swear, brother, we'll have to take them all the way. Like, I hope they're bigger than me, because of the fact that, like, I don't personally want anything from that person. I just want them to be able to get in somewhere where I wasn't able to be able.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I first started or something like that. So it's always good to be able to mentor people or give them the access to stuff, because I feel like
especially if you felt like you were in that role before.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You
exactly.
want to give back in that way and make things reciprocal.
Yeah.
Whether it's like it's not to the same person or not, you want to provide that situation to somebody else.
Oh, absolutely. Like, shit, man, if he came up to me today and was like, "Hey, I want to work with you on something," and yada yada yada, man, we can work on something. That doesn't.
You just gotta talk more thoroughly.
Yeah, it's like, yo, we get these cuts right, because son. But like, in the grand scale of things, like, I don't take anything, like, that's just, you know, that's the road you go on. You know, you make that choice. So, like, if something comes good or bad, you gotta live with that choice. So it's just one of those things that happened, and we got past it, and it's good now. It's cool. Like, I just like being able to get back to, like, what I'm doing and how I want to do it, and, you know, talking to people the way that I want to talk to them, you know. So it's good. Right. It's good. It's cool.
So, all right. So you had a good pair of eyes. You saw somebody that, like, may have been perceived bigger than you, and you found out, look, it's not right. It's not right. And you, like, trusted your gut, whatever. However you came to that conclusion, you got there.
Man, that was hard. You figured it out. It was hard to finally get to that point. Like, you know, we had some disagreements on some stuff anyway. But, you know, I think when you finally get to that point, it don't matter what happens. You moving on regardless. And
then I think the second thing you did that was fire, that not too many people are also, like, maybe equipped or, like, are built with, is that you had the ability to say that situation happened, and then you just kept it pushing. I feel like a lot of people, if they get, like, an alley-oop from someone a little bit bigger, they feel like, that was my shot. It's over with now. Pack it up. Let's go. And you managed not to do that.
Nah, I mean, because as much as that situation did hurt, because, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like it didn't. It definitely did, because you don't expect that kind of stuff.
Question yourself, question.
Oh, yeah, you question everything you do after that.
It's your eyes, man. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, but the best thing to do is to keep pushing. You know why? Because, like, that person already thought that, all right, cool, I got them out of here, so that's less competition. But they don't expect, like, shit, what if this kid comes back, or whatever, those people come back and say they didn't need you all along. You just fuel their fire even more to, like, really, really take it to what they wanted to do. And I think that's what was always my way of looking at it, was like, just because that ended doesn't mean that I have to end. I was doing photography before I met him before I was doing photography, and my photography got me here. Like, he asked, you know what I mean? Like, he came to me with a job. I didn't come asking him for a job. So the other way around, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do photography after him. That's nothing on me, you know? It sucks, but you can't let that be the reason you stop doing something you love. Look, he didn't create you to do photography. You created you to do photography.
And is that, like, a strong sense of determination or a strong sense of self?
I think it's just how I was raised, really. So, like, yeah, again, like, with never wanting to quit on something that you really love doing. It just became one of those. It's like, I'm just too passionate about the things that I love doing for that to be ended by people who are just, like, the temporary in your life. You know what I mean? So I don't think that I think that anybody, whatever you do, like, whether it's photography, videography, skateboarding, music, selling vintage tees, making your own clothing, anybody, just because you had somebody that you looked up to shit on you, doesn't mean that they have to end you because you were doing this before and you can do it after. You know what I mean? You got to do it way better after, because what the fuck were you doing it for in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, you did this so that you could get those opportunities. Now you got to stay with those opportunities and keep doing it. You know what I mean? Let them know that, like, the train doesn't stop because of one person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the train keeps going.
And you're all right. So you just gotta be mindful too that like you're creating your reality for sure. Like this is you. This is all you're doing. Yeah, for sure. And you manage not to have a victim mindset.
No. It's like again, LA too expensive for you to have a woe is me attitude all the time. Because if that's the case, you might as well just pack it up and go home. Really, because like in this last year, honestly, there's some shit that's happened out here, like as far as like with photography and business and things like that, that most people that I know would have fucking packed it up a long time ago.
Think about,
you know what I mean? But for me personally, it's just, I just can't think like that. Like, you know, I just thought like, yo, there's gonna be bumps in the road. There's gonna be this and that. How do you respond to those by just quitting? But no, you gotta figure out a new route and re-go and get back to what you want to do, because that shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do. You just gotta be a little bit smarter about it next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fuck with that. I inspire. So it's just you sound like hella. You just gotta have like a strong sense of self, bro.
Yeah, you really do.
You really gotta know like
places like this will help that. Places like this will help that for sure. Like,
you think so?
Absolutely. I think like,
you think if you don't already have that, this place will help you.
Or not even just California, you know, I think New York, I mean, that'll be another, you know what I mean? Because you're going to
another dense populated area.
Beast areas, and you got people that are just so cutthroat. So, you know, if you're just a nice kid all the time, you're not going to last too long. Like, you can still be nice and keep how you are about yourself, but then there's some times where you just got to turn that switch, and that's, you know, the switch that I had to learn how to have. Really,
that's an art too.
Yeah, that's
to manage not to be jaded.
Oh my god! Yeah, exactly. So it's the want of how you can keep everything going. That's what makes you want to be able to split that switch and really think about it in that kind of way.
That's crazy. All right. So anything else you want to share? I feel like
I just finished my website pretty much. There's like 2 things that I need to do on it, like for the mobile app. But that is done. I want to say thank you to Yane. You have been the best person of my life for the last few months, for this whole ride of the whole website thing, and it's taken way too long, but it's good that it's done now, and it is up. It is Inshanephotos.com. Book a session. I don't know. Shane! Book a session.
Alright, bro. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.